So how do you actually get your first MMA client if you've got no previous experience, no credibility, no results, never worked with a client before, and never actually run paid advertising? Now in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 steps that you can take to essentially build credibility, build experience whilst working on the job to land your first paying digital advertising client to get your digital advertising SMMA business off the ground. This is one of the age-old questions that I get asked time and time and time again. How do I build experience? How do I build credibility? How do I sell my services when I've never done anything to do with digital advertising or business before? Well, that's what these 5 steps are going to teach you right now, so you can land your first SMMA client regardless of your previous experience or background. So let's just dive in with number 1. So number 1 is just simply accepting the truth. And the truth is that just like everybody in the world who started anything starts at 0. And in order to actually get to where you want to go, you need to start taking those first few steps, right? So number 1 is there is no fast track and no secret of how to, build credibility and authority like Richard Branson or somebody who's at the top of their game when you're just getting started out. It's just not possible. It doesn't work like that. You need to accept that you're new to this, and that in order to get to where you want to go, these are the mandatory steps that you're going to have to take. Now you can accept it's completely fine starting out something without the credibility, without the proof, without the experience that you perhaps want to have to be able to sell your service. But you don't need to lie or exaggerate or say anything that you haven't actually done to prospects, because step 2, 3, 4 and 5, I'm literally going to teach you now how you do actually build that confidence, that credibility, that experience in real world situations when you're starting out at ground level 0. But the simple fact is that you're starting out at exactly the same situation that literally everybody else has started out at. You're not different. You're not in a place that is not going to be able to succeed if you follow these remaining steps. So let's dive into number 2. Now, number 2 is quite simply that you need to understand and realize that previous experience working with previous clients and having an extensive background in history in digital advertising and SMMA, it's not necessary to get your first client. In fact, again, just going back to point 1, everybody who gets started has no previous experience. So you need to get over this fear and feeling that you need experience, you need credibility, you need proof and testimonials and results from previous clients to actually get into the world of digital advertising, because it's not simply true. And in 3, 4 and 5, I'm literally going to show you exactly how you do this, how you build credibility and how you build experience without actually having any experience in the first place. Because remember, this is a journey of transformation. In order to get to where you want to go, you need to get over the fact that you don't have any experience and that nobody had any experience when they first got started out. So how do you build credibility and experience and authority when you're first starting out? Well, let's dive into point number 3. Now, number 3 is training and community. And this is literally the biggest catalyst that has enabled, hundreds of expats and people starting SMMAs successfully start and launch their own business and get their first clients, regardless of if they've had any clients before. So what do I mean? Why is having training and a community, a supportive community, important to help you build credibility, build authority with your first few clients before you've actually got an official client, to give you the credibility and proof that you need to convince them to work with you, to convince them that you can actually help them? Well, first of all, training. Now, when you invest in any form of training, any coaching, any mentorship with somebody who's actually credible within that business space, then you automatically are going to have access to years of experience, years of trial and error, years of things, of lessons that somebody else has learned, because they've already walked that path before you. So if you have expert coaching, help and training, you're already way further ahead in terms of digital advertising and business development than the vast majority of pretty much any business that you'll speak to. So simply buying into some form of training or coaching or mentorship that's actually going to give you the skills and experience that somebody who has already walked that path can now give you because of their experience. This is one of the best ways, the fastest ways of gaining knowledge, because that's all experience is, right? It's knowledge gained from actually doing. So the best way of building that authority and building that experience and building that identity within you is to actually go through high quality training that's going to teach you how to do the things that you're going to say to your clients that you can do for them. Now, without this, you're essentially, if you just go to a business without the right training and supportive community and coaches and people behind you to help you learn these skills, you're essentially just going to be pretty fraudulent, right? Walking in and telling somebody that you can do something with their business and that, you know, you're going to be able to do this for them if you don't have the right training and people around you to actually ensure that you can help them get that result. So that leads me on to community. Why is it important to have the right community, the right supportive community and environment around you when you are trying to build authority and credibility to land your first client? Well, as with any learning experience, having the right supportive community around you is only going to create that identity within you that you are actually this person who can help the business owner achieve the results that you say, because you're surrounded by all of those other people who are already doing this and who have already done this. And these are people that you can go to, you can ask for help when you feel like you need it. So having the right training and community around you to learn from before you actually go into the world to try and speak with clients about helping them with their digital advertising. This is absolutely crucial. And if you try and bypass this, and if you just try and go to a business and tell them you can help them without actually having the right training, community and support, you're essentially just going to be fraudulently pushing a service that you have no support in actually delivering and a result that you can't really deliver on. Now, once you've actually been through proper training and are supported by a proper community, again, if you'd like to check mine out, there'll be a link below this video so you can actually join there and see what my community is actually like. Then number 4 is your final product test. Now, this is terminology that I use to refer to the very first client that you're ever going to work with. Now, you're going to find a business, and there will be a video again below this video to help you find your first client, but the very first business and first client that you're going to work with, you're going to work with for free. You're not going to charge them for your service, but they are going to cover the cost of ads, right? You're giving them your time, you're giving them your skills that you've learned for free, and it's only fair that they cover your expenses or cover the expenses of the advertising campaign. Now, the goal of this very first client that you're going to work with for free is to build confidence in your new skills. It's to build credibility. It's to get real life, real world proof that your new skills can actually do what you say they can, so that afterwards you can move into the world and start selling your services to prospects moving forward. So this is the terminology I use. I call it a final product test because you need to identify the right type of business that you want to work with. You then need to identify the right strategies, again, following the right training and community to actually help you do this. And you then need to take that service and apply it to the first business and put it into real world practice and make sure that what you have selected is actually going to do the job of getting the result for your first client. So step number 4 is simply getting your final product test client, your very first client, who is going to let you work on their business, bring them new customers into their business, let you apply your skills in a real world environment to build that knowledge, build that experience, and ultimately gain a testimonial and have a real world business owner saying this person can actually do what they say they are going to do. And the reason why we start out with an FPT is so that you can build that experience without the need of feeling like you have to sell something that isn't actually proven or credible, or i.e. yourself are not really confident in the results that you can deliver. This is how you build that authority and that credibility and that identity within yourself that you can do what you say that you can do to your prospects moving forward. So this step 4 is really, really important. That's finding and landing what I call your final product test client, your first client who you're going to work for free. Now, number 5 is leverage. And this word alone has literally made me millions of dollars. And I'm going to explain why. Leverage is the absolute key to stepping up and leveling up in your business and in your even, you know, your life. And what I mean by this is you're going to use the leverage of the previous experience that you've now got, in this case, your final product test client. You're going to leverage this experience, leverage these results, leverage this testimonial that you now have from a real world business owner saying that you can do what you say you're going to do. You're going to leverage this to land your first paying clients. Now, your first paying client might actually be your final product test client. You know, you run their ads, you get them some great results, and naturally, you know, they make a return on investment, and naturally it's a no-brainer for them to continue working with you if you're making them money and your fee is less than the money that you're going to be bringing them in. It's a no-brainer. So we leverage the previous experience, the credibility, the results that you got your final product test client. We leverage that to either turn them into your first paying client, or to use those results to land your first paying client using other methods. But the point is here, you need to first of all run your final product test campaigns for your final product test client, and then you leverage those results that you've given that business from your services for free. You then leverage those results to land your first paying client, because you're literally going to be saying to them, this is what you've done, these were the results, and this is essentially what I can do for your business as well. Makes complete sense, right? So, and then leverage, once you've even got that first paying client on board, building and growing your business is really just about leveraging the results that you're getting for your existing clients to go to new clients, to showcase what you've already done for previous businesses, to say, hey, this is what I'm doing for this client, this is how it's working, and this is something that I can help you do in your business as well. And when you've got this proof, this credibility, this experience, this leverage, you can pretty quickly and pretty simply build a very, very profitable business, up to $10,000, $15,000, even $20,000 in a lot of my clients' cases, just by leveraging the previous experience that you've got now from running a final product test and from working from paying clients. So the long and the short of it is, there is no fast track. There is no like, just swallow this magic pill and you'll have lots of experience and confidence and credibility. What it's actually about is starting out with a step-by-step path, these 5 steps of starting your SMMA, starting your ad agency from absolutely zero, and going through this process. Now, if you want help with any of these things, then please do feel free to click a link below this video to book a call with one of my coaching team to see if we can take you through this process, this path. And typically, for most people, this will take, you know, this process of getting your first paying client, it can happen in under 30 days. Now, typically it doesn't, it takes a bit longer than that. It might take 2 to 3 months to actually get your first paying client. But once you've got that first paying client, once you've been through that process, your business can very quickly snowball and catapult you forward. So if that's something that's interesting to you, please do click a link, book a time with my team. If not, I'll see you on the next video.